Hello, I will be showing you how to make one of these soda can origami butterflies with a magnet on the back, so you can even put them on a fridge or even a certain legacy installation at a certain theater. So what you're going to need are 2 soda cans, preferably of similar colors and preferably of different brands. You're going to need scissors, E6000 or another type of strong glue, a can opener so that you can flatten out these cans and make them sheets, a magnet, 2 clothespins, a Sharpie, a ruler, and a paper cutter. So the first thing we're going to be doing is turning one of these cans into these sheets. So first you're going to need your can opener, and you're going to take the top off of this can. So put the sharp end underneath the lip of the top of the can, and you're just going to take that right off. And then put that in the recycling. So the next part is cutting down the center of this can, but something we have to keep in mind is the graphics. So what's going to be seen is the end bits, and we want that to be the pretty part, not this center bit. We don't want to see that. So when we cut it, we want to cut it in between the graphic, so it mirrors it on both sides. You can even see with this Waterloo that it was cut to the point where both graphics are mirrored around the cut. So with this, we're going to cut it right here. So just take your scissors and cut straight down. So after we do that, we're going to turn the can around and we're going to cut around the base of it. We're going to try to keep as much of the graphic as we can and not any of the silver. Something that helps is to pull the part coming off of it towards you, and we can even turn it around to help get it off. Once we do that, we're going to get this top bit off of it. So now even once that's off, the can is still pretty bendy, so we're going to take a ruler and we're just going to flatten that out. It might take a couple tries, but it should get to be pretty flat. So now we have to get the can to be the same dimensions as all the other sheets that we have. So here's the dimensions, 3 1/4 inch by 7.5 inches. So we're going to use our paper cutter and we're going to try to line it up so that the part of the graphic that we want to keep, which is the top, there is as little of it as possible on the blue tape, so that when we cut it on the other side, we have more of the pretty part. Once again, with cutting the other side, we have to keep in mind what part of the graphic we're going to see. So with the certain brands, I try to keep it consistent. So with this one, as you can see on the left side, it was cut right out where the S ends. So we're going to do the same thing with this one. And then of course, you're going to have to do this 2 times because you need 2 of these sheets to make a butterfly. So go ahead and find your other can and start cutting that one too. So now that you have both of the cans that you want to work with, you're going to decide which one you want to be on the top or which one you want to be on the bottom. So what I do is I hold one on the top and the other on the top to see which way I like it better. For me, I like the Kirkland Costco sparkling water to be on the top and then the Soleil one to be on the bottom. So we're going to start out with the top piece. For me, the graphic doesn't matter quite as much with the top because a lot of it ends up getting covered. But first we're going to start with folding it hamburger style with the silver side out. We're not going to press down the fold all the way, just enough that we're going to be able to see the center line. If you fold it too many times in too many different ways, the aluminum can actually crack. So we're going to fold the bottom corner up to the center line and just press it down. You can even use a Sharpie or another object to get the folds extra neat, and I would actually recommend doing this quite a bit. Once your butterfly looks like this, we're going to flip it over and fold the bottom up. We don't want to fold it all the way to the top, maybe 2 or 3 centimeters from the top. Next, we're going to flip it back over and get these lapels folded down. I usually do the first inner fold about halfway down. Something that I found helps with these folds is to get the imprint of it on one side and the imprint of it on the other side, and then they kind of fold down to meet each other. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. It is a little tricky to get each side to be symmetrical. To get the outer fold down, I can usually eyeball it, but what can help is to use another object to measure how far from the edge of the wing it's supposed to be. So once you get that point marked down, you can use that as reference to fold the wing to match the other side. The next thing we're going to be doing is doing this noggin of a fold. So first thing we're going to do is fold the butterfly in half. This time you can fold that middle fold harder, as we will not be moving the butterfly around anymore. I would still be careful about not cracking it though. Next, we will pinch the top of the butterfly and we will press it into the table. Pinch it about 1 centimeter high and make sure that the bottom of it goes to nothing. So if you looked at it from the side, it'd be like a triangle. Next, you pinch around the fold almost like you're popping a pimple, just to really exaggerate those sides. The point of this is to have the top of it angled up so it looks like wings. Next, we're going to be folding the bottom half of the butterfly. This part, the graphic matters more because a lot more of it will be visible compared to the top. First, we're going to fold it in half hamburger style, this time with the graphic on the outside. Also make sure not to fold that first one too hard, only enough that you see where that middle fold is. Now we're going to figure out which part of the graphic we want to be visible. For me, I like the blue writing that says Soleil, so I'm going to try to make that the most visible thing, rather than the pink grapefruit. So this measurement is 1 3/4 inches, and everything on that side is not going to be very visible. So I'm going to fold down the part that has a pink grapefruit and measure it 1 3/4 inches, which is where that fold will be. What I like to do to avoid using the 1 3/4 measurement again is I like to fold it in half just to see and get that initial fold again, so I don't have to measure. The next step is folding the swing over again. Make sure you leave some room in between the center line and where the wing is. Remember that this space is going to be doubled with the other side, so don't make it too big. The final part of making the bottom piece is to fold the top triangle bit down. This is so that when you put the base with the top, you don't see it peeking out from behind the top of the butterfly. Like so. Now you're going to glue the top and bottom part of the butterfly together. So you're going to take your E6000 and put some on the base. I kind of ended up drawing a smiley face, but that is not necessary. So then you just press them together, make sure that you like the orientation and the proportions that you're making, and you can even put clothespins on it to keep it sturdy while you wait for the E6000 to dry. I like to try to bend it upwards so it gives it a little bit more life when they're sitting up. So once the glue has dried, we're going to add the magnet on the back. So we're going to put some glue on the magnet, and we're just going to stick it on. So once it's on, we want to make sure that however it sits is how we want the butterfly to sit when it's actually attached to something. You can even add more glue if it's not staying very well. And there you have it, your very own Zack Theater butterfly.